I was gone. I was out there on the streets. And I had suicidal all on my mind. And I was waiting for a truck to come down the street on 103rd. And my intention was to run in front of this truck. And in my life, that's how bad it had got for me. My self-esteem and everything was just gone. And here our pastor I never forget, he had a Jeep at this time. And he only burnt like 89 octane in that Jeep. And at this particular gas station that he came to, we was out of that 89 because I used to be up there pumping gas and everything for a little change. And it was cold like it is now outside. Matter of fact, I believe it was colder then than it was this last week. But anyway, I never forget, it was on a Thursday night. He was leaving Bible class. And he had Ella Torrance and a couple of more people in his van with him. And he happened to come to this gas station where I was at. And I sit there, I went to his truck when he got out. And our pastor used to wear a leather hat. And it had a crease that it was stood up in that corner without falling. And the bishop wore his hat everywhere you see him, and that hat was just flopped on both sides. And he had his leather coat on. Bishop was cool at the time. But anyway, when he got out the car, I went to him, and the first thing he said to me, he was like, "What's your story?" And back in the day, Bishop had this saying, every time you say something to him, he would say, "Yes, yes, yes." That's all. You be talking to him, and he's saying yes. And then I was telling him my story. And then I just stopped. I said, "You're a minister." And I said, "No, in fact," I said, "you was a pastor." And he was like, "Yes, yes." And so I was telling him my story, and he began to minister to me. And I felt the relief start to come over me. And so the next day, they was giving him, honoring him in a banquet. And he told me, he said, "I'm going to come back here about 10:30 and bring you something to eat." The food was so good, I think I ate half of the plate with it. And so he was supposed to pick me up that Sunday for church. But it had got so cold outside, I went across the street to a laundromat. And out of all places to find church on TV was in a laundromat. And here he was up there preaching on this TV in the laundromat. And so they flashed the church address on the bottom of the screen, and I got the address. And so I told my friend that was with me when I met Bishop, I said, "Wow," I said, "this is not too far from us." And so that Sunday, Bishop was supposed to pick me up, but he didn't make it. And I said, "Bishop must have got tied up." And so I told my friend, I said, "I'm going." It was something that was telling me I had to get to that service. And I said, "Come on, man." I said, "We're going to walk to the church." He said, "Well, I ain't going to walk. It's too cold." And I'm looking at him like, "It ain't too cold for us to stand out here and pump gas to get high, but you finna tell me it's too cold to go to church." I said, "But it was just something about that I had to get to this place." I said, "Well, I'm going." And we had been out there like an hour. We had no cars came in the lot. As soon as I made my destination to come to the church, the parking lot started getting full. All our customers was coming. There wasn't nothing but the enemy trying to get me to turn around. And when I got there, Bishop was going forth. And there was something about the word that drew me. I didn't want to take my life no more. I was glad the truck didn't come down the street. And then when he got out of service, when I went up there to him, he stopped and he had told everybody at the banquet about me. That made me feel so special that a man of God really didn't forget me. He thought enough, and he was at where they was honoring him, he was giving me some honor. And I thank him for that. And I've been with him ever since that day. I walked to that church. I joined that church. I haven't left the church. He been wanting to put me out the church, but he can't get rid of me. And I tell you, I thank God for him. You know, I have a father, but I thank God that God gave me another father. And then before my mama left me, that my mother had enough faith and trust in Bishop that she gave me to Bishop along with my dad. And I thank God for that. And Bishop, I've been here 9 long years. 9 long years, Bishop. But you know what? I wouldn't trade them for all the gold in the world. I love you. To me, you the best prelate. You the best pastor. I don't know about singers. Sometimes you get off key.
But I wouldn't trade him for nothing in the world. Even though our pastor don't like to go home. I used to ride with Bishop. I stopped riding with Bishop because it be daylight. The birds be on my feet and I need to get home. I don't ride with Bishop no more. But Bishop, I love you, man. I love you, man. Nothing you can do about it. Thank God for you. You know, and I always tell him, you know, I'm familiar with the story about Moses and Joshua. And I always tell Bishop that he's my Moses. And one day I'm going to live up to be the Joshua that Joshua was to his Moses. And Bishop, I love you.
Yes, you will. You will. Amen, amen, amen. Yes, you will. Amen, amen. Bless you, Deacon Paul. Yes, you will.